If you guys remember, we made Zentangles before where we break up a shape and then put patterns inside the shape. I thought we could make Patrick's Day Zentangle, including shamrocks. So our big shape's going to be a shamrock. I feel like there's lots of rainbows involved. And I actually put Lucky Charms because I always think of cereal Lucky Charms when I think of St. Patrick's Day, right? We are going to draw this together. So the first thing we need to draw is the biggest shape, and that's going to be the shamrock that's going to hold all of those little patterns. So what I did is I kind of started up at the top and I put just a little dot so that I would know where to start the shamrocks. And I made a big, it's like the top of a heart. So I went up and then kind of went down, and I did the same thing on this side. So this is like the top of the heart, but it is the top of the shamrock. Then you're gonna also go down just a little bit more, just a little bit. We need to draw this same shape, but we're gonna draw it on this side now. And it's gonna look like a number 3, right? Because now it's on this side. So we're gonna draw like a big number 3. Now you've got the right side of your shamrock. And then I'm sure you probably guessed, we gotta draw this side, the left side of the shamrock. So we're gonna flip that. We're gonna flip that line drawing and we're gonna draw backwards. And now we've got both sides. And then we're gonna have to add the stem. And I'm gonna make the stem come down to maybe like here. If you measure, it's about the length of my finger. So you could measure your finger and then you would know about how long to make your stem. And I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna make mine curve a little bit, just a little bit. So this is the big shape. So to make a Zentangle, what you need to do is you need to divide up your paper somehow. And we divide our paper by drawing lines. When we draw those lines, I'll show you one. So I'm gonna take my marker and I'm gonna draw a diagonal line up that way. And what happens is, do you see it's divided and created a new shape? It divided this shape from this shape. And what happens is then in each shape, we're gonna add a pattern. We need to divide this guy, we need to divide this guy up before we can even do that. So I am gonna add my second line and I'm gonna add, I think I'm gonna start up at the top. I'm gonna start at the top and I'm gonna draw a diagonal line going all the way to maybe like this corner. Okay, so it's gonna go like this. And you want the line to go through the drawing. That way you've created new shapes. I'm gonna make that thicker just so I can see it. Well, there's my one line. And we want more areas to draw. So I am gonna go right here and I'm gonna draw all the way across. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple shapes. And then I want to make one more. I want to divide this big section because this one's kind of big right here. I'm going to draw another line all the way through. And now I've got this big section and this big section and this big section. And then maybe just one more, maybe to divide the stem up. We'll draw one more. So that is plenty of space to draw patterns and put them in here. So if you think about patterns for St. Patrick's Day, you kind of think, you know, we think about rainbows, we think about shamrocks. Sometimes we think about gold coins, right? Like a pot of gold. Oh, actually a pot of gold, a little pot of gold could be a pattern. So anytime you have a pattern and you repeat a drawing, you know, little shape more than one time, you get a pattern. So I'll show you. I'm gonna do shamrocks down here. And so, you know, right now, if I draw my little I'm gonna draw the 3, I'll do a 3 shamrock, like little clover. So if I just make one, then I've just drawn, you know, my little shamrock. But as soon as I start repeating that shape, I start getting a pattern. So think of like patterned shirts where they have like stripes, right? Or sometimes gift wrap will have the same picture repeating over and over and over. That's a pattern. So I'm gonna add my little shamrocks on here. And sometimes because it's, you know, a pattern, maybe you don't see all of it, right? Maybe it's like coming off of the page and the end of that shape. So this would be like my shamrock part, my shirt, like a shamrock shirt maybe. Okay. So I've done shamrocks. Another drawing we could do is we could definitely do a rainbow. And if you want to just do stripes for the rainbow, you would make enough stripes to have, well, if you're doing colors, you'd have red, orange, and yellow, and you'd have green, and you could have blue, and you could do purple if you want to. So maybe you have purple as well, right? So I'm gonna do one stripe. So I'm gonna have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then I'll just make this part be purple. So these little stripes, I'm gonna color them in rainbow colors. So those would be my stripes. And then I want to add, I like how little rainbows look in the sky. So sometimes you see, you know, you'll see like a cloud in the sky, and I'm just gonna change my colors because why not? So I would draw a little puffy cloud first. Maybe I'll draw another one over here, and maybe one more. I'm gonna draw maybe a couple rainbows. So I'd start with my red. Oops. And maybe I go with my orange. Do yellow. And I'll add the green. And I think I'm gonna stop at blue. So this now becomes a pattern because we've repeated it more than one time. And if you could do, you know, 4 or 5, however many you can fit in your shape, you're gonna do that, okay? So let's see, what is another shape they think about when they think of St. Patrick's Day? All right, let me see. I think I'm gonna draw a little leprechaun hat. So a little leprechaun hat would be like the top. And then we're gonna draw a little bottom for the brim. And then maybe I might draw a little band across. So again, to make it a pattern, we're gonna have to repeat that. So I'm gonna do another one here with a little band. Maybe put another little one here. That one's smaller, that's okay. Maybe add a bigger one here. My little leprechaun hats. Maybe you can see some of one, you don't have to see all of them. So I got my leprechaun hats, and I feel like we should have the Lucky Charms on there. So Lucky Charms, I think they have way more marshmallows now in them, but I want to say we've got the hearts. There's diamond shapes in Lucky Charm cereal. There's magic horseshoes. There's so many things inside Lucky Charms. Oh, there's clovers in there too. I haven't had Lucky Charms in so long, and I'm trying to is there like a unicorn in there? No unicorns. Okay, so I think that's enough parts. At least I can't fit any more in mine. So that's my Lucky Charm cereal collection. Okay, so let's see. So all these other parts that are empty right now, you could repeat maybe one of these shapes in another section, right? Like if I wanted, I could put the rainbows up here, or maybe I want to put some more rainbow stripes over here. Or you could just color it in a solid color or shade it in with your pencil like a solid color, okay? Okay. I was going to show you, for those of you that did, just pen or pencil, you can still take your shapes. So I'll just, let's say, you can still take your shapes and you can still shade those in. So maybe you shade your shapes in and you leave the background white so you can see the shapes. If you push harder, they get dark. Or you could also color the outside of one of your solid shapes. You can just color them like this. So you don't have to only use marker or colors. You can work with light and dark with a pencil depending on how hard you press. So if I press really light, I'm going to get a really light gray. If I press really hard, I'm going to get kind of a darker gray. So that's another way to make variations in your coloring just with a pencil. For this section in maybe with the blue. And you could also do it as a pattern. Is a technique I learned with markers. You can color in a line right next to each line. Lawnmower technique. That's another way to fill in an area, big area with a marker. And then I think I might take a little purple and add a little purple up here. And same thing, I'm gonna try that little lawnmower technique. That's kind of fun. Helps you fill in a space a little bit quicker. I like doing it like that. And then anytime you have little white spots, you can always cover those back up. That way it's all nice and solid. I did say that I was going to color the rainbow up here. So I am going to color this a rainbow. So I got red. Orange comes next. Orange. I got yellow. And then of course we got green. And then blue. And then violet. I'm going to do purple. Now I got my nice little rainbow represented up here. And then I'm wondering if I should make my shamrocks green. Maybe I'll make them green. We'll color them in green. Now my little hats, I guess I could do green, but I'm gonna try light green. I'll get them a little light green hat. And maybe a little yellow band. And neon yellow, I think. Let's see if I want to color any other parts in here. Kind of like these. I like how these are gray. I'm going to leave them gray. I like that. The pencil kind of color. Maybe I will color this section yellow. And I'm going to do that same kind of technique back and forth. Maybe I'm going to fill in this. I'm going to fill in this area. I like the lime green. That one in. And I might want to have this green somewhere else. Sometimes it's nice to have a color that you picked. So I did light green. It's nice to also have it somewhere else in your picture. Kind of balances out your picture. So you can balance a picture with colors, instead of just adding it one place, you might add it in two places. Same, I've got blue. I might add this blue in another spot to balance out the colors in my picture. So now instead of having it in one spot, I've got this color in two spots. And then I did purple, so that means I need to put that in one more space. So I'm gonna add the purple, I'm gonna add the purple over here. So you can balance a picture through colors. And what they mean by balance, it means like you don't have like a color on one side where it's nowhere else in the picture. You want to have it somewhere else in the picture as well, which means I need to have this yellow somewhere else. So I'm going to add the yellow maybe over here. So that way it looks like it's even. I've got two yellows, two blues, two purples, two greens. So I've evened out my picture with my colors. So that is pretty much all I'm going to add. Oh my gosh, I forgot this one. I'm going to make this one a dark one. Make him really dark. I do like coloring also with pencil as well. I might do some pencil drawing. I like doing pencil sketches. Okay, so I've got a dark one. I like a light one. Maybe this one will be darker. Nice. I like that you can do so much with art supplies. So you've got a mixture of pencil and marker, and they all work, right? Very nice. Oh, and then of course, you got to sign your name on the bottom. People want to know, oh, who made this lovely artwork? Just sign it. You could even give that to somebody. It could be like your St. Patrick's Day gift to somebody.